Hey tea heads, this is Don from Mayleaf. In this video, learning Tie Guan Yin Oolong. In this video, I'm going to be giving you the lowdown on China's most famous oolong tea. This video is going to go under the tea masterclasses and the tea trips playlist. If at any point in time you enjoy this video, then please give the video the thumbs up. The more thumbs in the air, the more tea videos are going to come your way. And if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, then go click that button. We have arrived in China. We're in Xiamen, a small coastal city in southern Fujian province. Well, I say it's small, but it's small by China's standards. The population here is about 5 million, so it's still a pretty big city. We were meant to be arriving in last night. We flew into China, into Guangzhou last night, and we were meant to get a connecting flight to Xiamen, but due to the bad weather, our flight was cancelled, so we had to stay the night in Guangzhou, get up at 3 a.m. this morning after just a few hours sleep, and we have finally, after 30 hours of traveling, arrived in Xiamen. And we are here to meet Celine's mother. So my mother-in-law, she's going to be joining us on this expedition up to Anxi County. Anxi County is about 2 hours drive away, and it is the historic birthplace of Tie Guan Yin Oolong. Tie Guan Yin, also known as Iron Goddess, is by far one of China's most famous oolong teas. It's constantly given as gift teas, and for many people, it's their first taste of proper tea that opens their eyes to the wonders of true tea. At Mayleaf, we've been stocking Tie Guan Yin for nearly 15 years, so we've got our established suppliers up in Anxi County. But I truly believe that I would be doing my clients a big disservice if I constantly bought the same tea from the same suppliers every year. So it's always good to return to source, learn more, find new suppliers, and find new teas. So if you're ready, let's go up to Anxi and dive into the wonderfully aromatic world of Tie Guan Yin. Welcome to Anxi County. Anxi County is where you really need to find your Tie Guan Yin, and there's lots of different mountainous areas in Anxi County. Currently, we purchase our Iron Goddess, our Tie Guan Yin, from Ganda, which is a very famous mountainous area in Anxi County. But really today what I want to explore is Shiping. Shiping is the birthplace of Tie Guan Yin, as it says down here on this rock. This is where Tie Guan Yin all came from, and so it has that historical cachet, it has that tradition over many, many generations. So we are going to go up to Shiping and see if we can find some amazing tea. We've been driving up the mountain and we're nearly at the peak. We're about 1,500 meters high. It's a beautiful mountainous area. There are lots of tea plantations around and the smell of tea is in the air. Let me quickly talk about the history of Tie Guan Yin. The history of Tie Guan Yin dates back to around the 1700s. Emperor Qianlong was a very prominent historical figure in Chinese history, and he was a great lover of teas. And he fell in love with Tie Guan Yin and he brought this tea into prominence. Since then, it was made in the Quan Tong style. The Quan Tong style is the traditional style of making Tie Guan Yin, which is a slightly heavier oxidized tea. But in the 1990s, influence from Taiwan came back to the mainland, and the influence for those light green, very aromatic, bright Taiwanese oolongs came back to China, and Tie Guan Yin started to be produced in this style, and it became very, very popular for its floral aromas and for its very bright, very fresh character. And this is how it has been since the 1990s. The Qingxiang style, this Taiwanese style, has become prominent since the 90s, and this is how Tie Guan Yin is widely known today. But I'll talk more about the different styles of Tie Guan Yin when we reach the peak. We're walking through a tea plantation, and I just wanted to stop and show you what I look for when we're searching for good tea. This is a really, really good example of a nice tea plantation. You can see it's very, very steep. The water is going to run through it very, very quickly. If you listen out, I'll shut up for a second. You may hear that the water is running through it. So the mountain water is running through. You can see that the tea plants are planted on top of rocks. So you can see the piles of rocks over there. We'll hopefully get another shot of it. So that again is all about making sure that the water runs through very, very easily, runs through quickly. You don't want any waterlogged soil which will affect the quality of the tea. The other thing that you notice is the amount of varied vegetation here. This is not some sort of homogenized tea plantation where the land has been stripped and tea plants have been planted for easy picking and easy cultivation. Instead, the tea plants have been planted with lots of other vegetation, including shrubs and lots of osmanthus trees. Osmanthus is a really, really fragrant flower, and I wonder how much that affects the flavor of the resulting tea. If you look over here, you can take a look at the soil. Maybe Celine, you can get a close-up of this soil. Very crumbly. Can you see this? Very crumbly, light soil. This is exactly what you want. Sandy, crumbly soil. Nothing that's going to get waterlogged. Something that's going to be really, really good in terms of irrigation. And you can see up here the rocks that I was talking about. These tea plants here have been planted intentionally on layered rocks like this to make sure that the water flows through it very easily and that it doesn't get waterlogged. The age of these tea trees, they're probably something in the region of about 10 years old, 10 to 15 years old. For Tieguanyin tea, it's not such a major factor, the age of the tea trees. Higher age tea trees will always command a higher value and a higher price, but in general, these are probably around 10 to 15 years old. So this is an example of a really, really good kind of tea plantation. The smell in here is so fragrant, and it's the thing that I always left with whenever I come back from the mountains, whenever we go to search for oolong teas, is this smell that you just cannot recreate. And every time you brew tea, it's just giving you a hint of this smell in this room. It's flowery with that hint of green, which is still in the air, which is still in the leaves. It's a wonderful, wonderful aroma. I want to stick my nose in those leaves. Come on. That smell. So this is the Guan Yin variety here. So it's still got the green, which is, if you pick any piece of grass, that very fresh green smell, the smell of freshly cut grass. But more than that, you've got this extremely floral aroma. I would say that the flowers are closer to slightly more magnolia with a bit of lemon peel. Yeah, magnolia with a little bit of lemon zest. It's got a little bit of milkiness to it too. And this is now in its resting phase, in its indoor withering phase. The temperature here is slightly cooler. They'll adjust the temperature in this room according to how hot the weather is outside. I'm going to attempt to go through the basic process to make Tieguanyin. So first of all, it's picked. The picking is up to 4 leaves, no buds. It's then brought for solar withering. The solar withering is about half an hour, and the leaves have to be moved continuously so that there's an even exposure with the sun. And it's very important that you have solar withering because that builds up much more flavor those aromatic compounds that you want for really good Tieguanyin. After that, the leaves are brought inside in a cool, you can see, relatively dim location, and they are left for indoor withering. So they're going to be left, and it depends on the weather, it depends on the leaves, how long they're left for. And during this indoor withering, from time to time, they will be doing the shaking, just like with all oolong teas. So they'll be using bamboo drums like this that will rotate for a few minutes. So they'll load the leaves in here, and these will slowly rotate, and then they'll take them out and they'll put them in these bamboo trays here. And they'll do this over the period until the tea master feels that the level of oxidation, you can see that the leaves are starting to oxidize here. If you take a look, you can see this red hue that's happening here. So the tea master will be looking at this, smelling, and they'll be deciding how many times it needs to be shaken and for how long it needs to be left for. For really super duper high quality oolong teas, the shaking will not be done in the machines, but will be done by hand. But this is a very, very small amount of hand-shaken oolong, hand-shaken Tieguanyin. This Tieguanyin has been shaken in the bamboo drums and will be left. Now, the amount of time that you leave these leaves for and the amount of times you shake them has a big effect on the flavor, but we'll talk a little bit about that later. Let's go through the process. When the tea master feels that the tea has reached the optimum level of oxidation, then they will fire the tea. And they'll do it just like they do in Taiwan. Come here. They'll do it in these large spinning drums. Probably something in the region of about 200 degrees Celsius, but it depends again on how many leaves they're firing, and the tea master has control over that. So these will go in here and it spins at a hot temperature, and once it's ready, once it's been fixed, in other words, the enzymes in the leaf have been deactivated, which again is done by hand and done by eye, so you're sniffing and you're looking, they'll release the leaves, and these leaves will then be brought here to the rolling machine. This is small batch rolling, and what this does, if you come in close here, this pushes down on the leaves, and this spins, and you can see these lovely gentle curved ridges here. What that does is it rolls the leaf, it presses the leaf, and it essentially brings out all of the oils, brings out all of the juicy, sticky, flavorful compounds to the surface to make for a much more rich tea when you brew it. After that, the arduous task of rolling begins. So they'll let it cool, and then they'll bring it over here, and they will put the leaves in these bags, and they'll put it in this rolling machine over here. It basically rolls it, and then that's the loose roll, and then they put it inside these machines to get an even tighter roll. And then they'll repeat this process, and you can see behind you, this has been rolled, and now he's opening it all up again, and he's going to do it again. From time to time, usually at least twice, they will put it in this baking machine. This baking machine is just to dry it. It's not to add flavor, although obviously there will be some effect on the flavor, but it's to dry it. And they will repeat this process again and again and again until the leaves are nice and tightly rolled to make nice, dry, ball-rolled oolong. One other thing I want to show you is after they've rolled it and it's in this tight clump, they'll either loosen it by hand or they'll loosen it in a machine like this. And what this does is it starts to strip out the red edges of the leaf, so that you saw previously that the leaves had developed a red edge as it had oxidized. What this does is it strips off the red edge. So if you look at Tieguanyin, it'll look like it's got a slightly torn edge. That's because the red edge has gone dry in the heat. It's been heated and it's gone dry. It's gone quite brittle. And so when they're shaking it, that will naturally strip away. So you'll naturally strip away that red edge and you'll have this slightly torn edge. And that's the basic processing for Tie Guan Yin. We're in a hotel room and I wanted to pause for a second to talk to you about the different types of Tieguanyin because it can get a little bit complicated. So I need your undivided attention. Let's start with variety. Tieguanyin is actually the name of a variety of tea plant, and it's the variety which is most commonly used to make this type of tea. In the 90s, they started to strip away all the other varieties and focus in on Tieguanyin. Now, this is something that I don't really like to see because I prefer variety in the tea industry. I don't like homogenization in the tea industry. However, having said that, Tieguanyin variety is a very, very good variety for making this type of tea. However, you can make Tieguanyin from other varieties, and they are all bundled under the name Tieguanyin, so it can be a little bit confusing. Other varieties that you may find, another common variety is Benshan. Benshan variety used to be made more, is less made today, but is widely available on the market. Benshan variety is a little bit more milky, so it's similar to a Jinchuan variety, if you know Taiwanese varieties. But for my taste, it's a little bit too simple, it's a little bit too light. That's for my taste, and I prefer the Tieguanyin variety. Another nice variety is the Huangdan variety. The Huangdan variety is more floral, it's a little bit more flowery in taste than the Tieguanyin variety. It's another nice variety, and that's an early budding variety, so it's picked earlier in the year. You can take the Huangdan variety and you can graft it and cross it with the Tieguanyin variety. If you do that, you make another variety or a hybrid variety called the Guan Yin variety, and that's a nice variety, more floral again, but it's kind of got slight sour notes to it, like sour apple candy aftertaste to it, which is, in my opinion, very nice and a nice, interesting diversion from the usual Tieguanyin. Other less commonly used varieties include Mousehair. Mousehair is the hairy crab variety, more commonly used to make other types of tea like black tea, but can be used to make Tieguanyin. Or there's Meijian. Meijian again is more commonly used in Wuyi province, so not in the Anxi county of Fujian, but in the Wuyi province of Fujian to make other types of tea, but can sometimes be used to make Tieguanyin. Okay, so those are the cultivars that you're most likely to find on the market. Now let's talk about the different styles of making Tieguanyin. So the best way to look at it is that there are two basic styles for making Tieguanyin. One is the traditional style, which is known as Quentong, so the traditional style, and then there's the modern style. And the difference between them is the level of oxidation. So during the oxidation phase, depending upon the temperature in the room, if it's a higher temperature, then it will oxidize quicker. And also the amount of times that they're shaking the leaves will affect the level of oxidation. So they'll control the factors to decide whether or not they're going to go for the Quentong or traditional style, which is a heavier oxidized tea, compared to the modern style, which is all about lightness, brightness, keeping the tea green and having a very bright, fresh, tall aroma. So, traditional style and modern style. The modern style is sometimes referred to as qingxiang, or light, bright, clear aroma tea. However, this can be a bit confusing because you can get people talking about traditional qingxiang style. In other words, traditional style, but still having a bright aroma. So the best way for you to think of it is as traditional and modern style. And then you can choose whether or not you want to roast the tea or not. So roasted tea would turn the tea into nongxiang. Nongxiang means heavy aroma tea. So nongxiang means it's roasted, and there are different levels of roasting from light to medium to dark. So you can have all of the different range of roasting as well. Now, the modern style is less likely to be roasted because, as I said, modern style is more about keeping the tea bright, keeping the fragrance very light, maintaining all the high notes and having a very bright, light aroma. Whereas the traditional style is more about focusing on the body and the kind of smoothness of the tea. So it's less likely that you're going to have a roasted modern style. However, it does exist. So just because you see Nongxiang Tieguanyin roasted Tieguanyin, it doesn't necessarily mean that it was made in the traditional style, right? However, the traditional style is usually more suited to roasting. Okay, so those are the different styles. Now we're going to go one step further and talk about the balance of the tea making. So the time it takes between picking and firing of the tea is dependent again upon the temperature of the room, the amount of shaking that they do, and what kind of tea they want to make. So if you imagine from picking until firing as a kind of spectrum of time, so from picking to firing, the shortest period of time is kind of the next day, the next morning, or sometimes the same day. And this is known as zhengwei. So zhengwei is the shortest period of time from firing, and that usually means it's gone through the most amount of shaking to try and get the water out of the leaves. So that's zhengwei. Next in line is xiaozheng. The next in line is xiaoqing. The next in line is xiaosuan, and the last is tuosuan, which is usually about 2 days after picking. So from kind of the next morning to about 2 days after picking. And so this gives them a kind of EQ balance of flavors. In general, zhengwei is the most floral and kind of creamy, and the longer it takes for the water the longer it takes for them to fire the leaf means that the water has stayed in the leaves longer, and that generally makes the tea a little bit fresher, a little bit more kind of green, and a little bit more sour. So you can control, or the producers can control the balance of flavors depending on how long it takes for them to fire the tea. I told you it was complicated. We are in Shiping village and we are trying to find tea, of course, and we're looking for both the Quentong and the Qingxiang tea. So this is a zhengwei Quentong, so it's a traditional style zhengwei. This one here is zhengwei Qingxiang, so this is the modern style. And it's got, what I'm finding is a little bit frustrating in Shiping. We're getting a lot of really great aromatics, a lot of tall aromatics, milky and floral, but the finish is too short. The Quentong, this area is famous for Quentong tea, so we're hoping that this is going to be a little bit more successful. You can see it's all Maocha, it still needs to be sorted. So we're going to sort it out and we're going to taste this one. And we'll be back to see what it's like. We tried the zhengwei Quentong. It was not roasted, and it was really nice, milky, floral, had a much more rounded finish. It needs the roast, and it's always difficult whenever we're selecting tea. When we try these teas that haven't been roasted, we're trying to imagine what they're going to be like. I don't like doing it, but sometimes you have to. Now this one is a xiaozheng. So this one here is a xiaozheng Quentong, again unroasted. Right, so it's got more freshness. It's got more of the candy, it's got more of the slight, I wouldn't say sourness, but freshness, and less of the milkiness and floral notes. But again, it's unroasted, so it's got that very sharp, quite bitter finish. Again, having to guess what it's going to be like when it's roasted. We're going to keep sampling like this, keep sampling. You can see behind this gentleman here, there's probably about 10, 15 sacks of tea from different farmers. This person here collects the tea from the different farmers and sorts them and grades them and then sends them off for roasting. But we can purchase at this point now, if we like them, pre-roasting. We can even purchase it without roast if we wanted to. So there's lots of options, there's lots of permutations, there's lots that we can do, but this is what we do. We keep tasting, and then finally make some decisions. We found one. After about seven different tries, we found one. Finally. This is again Chuan-tong unroasted Zhengwei Guan Yin. Lots of words to say, but hopefully by the end of this video you'll know what I mean. It's unroasted. It could be roasted, but it doesn't need to be, and I think it's got enough going on that it doesn't need to be roasted. It's creamy, it's floral, and the aftertaste is of this kind of sour candy, not sour as in the actual taste of sourness, but the kind of the ghost of a sour candy taste, sour apple kind of taste. Really, really like it. They've only got a tiny amount left, so I'm gonna snap that up and bring that back to London, and we'll keep tasting and see if we find anything else. Temptations, temptations, temptations. This is a Huangdan, and it's really, really interesting. The aroma is very much like egg yolk. That's the best description that I can make. Celine says it smells like mooncakes, when you cut a mooncake and it's got that egg yolk inside. It's floral, but it's got this kind of, yeah, yolky kind of smell to it. And the taste is really, really nice to start, but it's very short. So it needs to be charcoal roasted. So now we have to decide whether or not we're going to buy some and bring it to a charcoal roaster, which we know. We can bring it to a charcoal roaster and then they'll charcoal roast it for us to our specifications. I'm very, very tempted. Keep your eye open for this one. It's nice. It's really nice. It's really nice. We are at our charcoal roasting ladies' place in Anxi City. And we have purchased some Huangdan. You can see behind me here. And now we have the very difficult decision about how much to roast it, how high the roast needs to be. So you can see here, this is about 20 to 25 hour at quite high heat roasting. This one will age very well if you store it in light, tight, and relatively airtight conditions. That will age really well, so it will stay really flavorful for quite a few years. This one here next to it is a light roast. So this is about 10 hours. And this will bring out more of the fragrance. It will be lighter, it'll be brighter, it'll be less fruity. And then this is the in-betweener. So this is about 15 hours. So you can see the choices don't stop when you're trying to choose your tea and what you want to do with it. The choices keep going. So now we've got to make a decision. I really, 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 really am stuck here. So we're just going to keep tasting and just try to figure out which one feels right for this tea. I'm about to melt in here. This is really, really, really hot. I have no idea how they work in these conditions. You can see here, this is the charcoal roasting. There's the charcoal. And underneath this one, he just showed us, it's also very glowing embers. And here is the tea roasting. And it's very important that they do not allow any of this tea dust to fall into the embers. Take a look in here. So this is now burnt down, but if you scrape that away, you've still got glowing embers in there. So you've got to be very careful that you don't allow any of this tea dust to fall in, otherwise it will cause smoke and that will ruin the tea. So he's just moving it around. This is very, very skilled. Very, very skilled. He knows what he's doing. And on it goes. It is scorching hot in here. I can't tell you how hot it is. It's really like, I feel like I'm in the hottest sauna I've ever been in. So the tea is sitting here. This looks like it's a very dark roast here. So this has probably been sitting here for about 20 hours already, but he's still going. And if he's doing this over a 20-hour period, he'll probably come in at least twice, 2-3 times to move it around so that it's an even roast. So this is the charcoal that they're using. You can see it is made entirely from solid pieces of wood. Do we know what wood it is?
是什么？
这个是龙眼的，
龙眼。
就是桂圆
啊，龙眼啊。
Long Yin. Longan.
龙眼树，
Longan.
的炭。
The fruit. No.
吃那个龙眼。对 ，yes yes。
Oh, even better, one of my favorite fruits. So this is the wood from longan. Longan fruit is similar to a lychee, and this is the wood charcoal from the longan tree. Many of you have probably heard of the origin story of Tieguanyin, but in case you haven't, I'll give you a quick recap. A farmer was walking past a temple of Guan Yin. Guan Yin is the god or goddess of compassion and mercy, and saw that the temple was falling apart and needed some love and attention. And so the farmer cleaned the temple, renovated it, and as a present, as a gift, Guan Yin came into his dream and instructed him where he could find a very special tea plant. Well, we are staying at the farmhouse of a direct descendant of Wei Yin, 9 generations down. And I had this amazing opportunity to talk to him about this story. And he says that the family knowledge is that Guan Yin did in fact come into the dream of Wei Yin around 300 years ago, but he didn't renovate any temple. That part of the story is not true, but Guan Yin came into his dream and instructed him of where he could find this special tea plant. A great story. Follow me. Okay, Celine, you need to get a good shot here. This tea plant, nestled on the ledge here, is supposedly the original Mother Tieguanyin plant that Wei Yin discovered nearly 300 years ago. The date is supposedly 1723. Now, I don't know how true this story is, but supposedly that tea plant over there is the one that was first discovered, and from this mother tea plant, all other Guan Yin varieties, all other Guan Yin cultivars were created. So that tea plant is about 300 years old. Clearly it's being trimmed and it's being kept very carefully, and tea is not made from that tea plant anymore. But if you follow me up here, and be careful your step, so all of these teas have origin stories, but it's very rare that you can actually get to see the original mother plant that everybody is talking about. Beautiful environment here. Tourist free, as you can see, amazingly. And you can see all the inscriptions here. So you can imagine the history. 300 years ago, Wei Yin dreaming about this plant, coming to visit this stream and finding this special plant, and then deciding to make tea out of it and tasting this incredible aromatic Tieguanyin. So if you come over here, these tea bushes here, which again, I feel so privileged, I can actually just touch and I can pick if I wanted. These tea bushes are the first generation from the mother bush. So there's the mother bush down there. And these plants here, these 2 bushes here, are these 2 bushes here. So this one and this one are the first generation. So what they did is they take this plant and they put it down into the ground, they bury it so that it starts to create roots, and then this creates another plant, and from there they can take cuttings and then they can graft and graft and graft, and now this area is covered with the Guan Yin variety. Look, Look at this. Little tea seeds are coming. Might need to grab a few of those if I can, and need to wait for them to be mature, I guess. But you know, it's pretty rare that you can actually get a tea seed from the first generation of Tieguanyin. You can see some husks of tea seeds here, right? So they are around. I'm going to go snooping and hunting around. Over here is a lovely carving in the rock here. Be careful. You okay? A lovely carving in the rock here. Take a look at this very content, serene face. This is Wei Yin. So this is a depiction of Wei Yin, the original cultivator and maker of Tieguanyin. And over there, perched, overlooking everything, is Guan Yin herself. Let's talk about the picking for Tieguanyin. So take a look at this bush here that we've just passed by, and I want to show you what we look for when we're doing picking. Okay, so let me bring your attention to this one here. Can you see the bud here? This is the bud. I don't know if Celine, can you get a good focus on it? So this is the bud, and you can see that the bud starts life very, very fat, and as it grows, the leaves start to open up. See, that used to be the bud, right? And this is why we talk about white tea, and you want very fat buds for white tea, for yin gen, because this used to be a fatter bud, and now as the leaf is growing and maturing, it's starting to open up a layer, and that's going to become a leaf, and eventually that's going to grow into a larger leaf and then move down the plant. So for some teas you want to include buds, but for Tieguanyin you don't. For Tieguanyin and for most oolongs, you want to wait for this bud to have disappeared. In other words, for the leaves to have completely opened out and the buds to have disappeared. Let me show you one down here. So let me, can you get into this one? See if I can hold it for you. So now you can see that the bud is a lot smaller, very, very small. We're approaching the part where the bud is starting to disappear. But again, we wouldn't pick this for Tieguanyin. The reason is, in the rolling process for these ball-rolled oolongs, these young leaves and these buds would just get shredded and get pulled away, and would be a waste, and they would just get lost. So again, this leaf is too young and it's got buds, so we wouldn't pick this one either. Let me show you one that we would pick. So here, can you see that? Here is an example with the bud. You can see that little nub of a bud there has now pretty much disappeared. The leaves are large enough. It's still pliable. It's still got a nice glossy, shiny, pliable. It's still young. So this is perfect for picking, and we would either pick 3 or 4 leaves. So 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4. You'd probably pick around here, and that is the kind of picking that we're looking for with Tieguanyin and with many oolong teas. So the bud has disappeared, but you can still see this leaf is still got that beautiful sheen. It's got that lovely, lovely young, fresh leaf sheen. There's another one here I can see. Let me just turn that around. Can you see the bud has, let me just turn it around again. You see the bud has pretty much disappeared. That would do. So again, I would be picking here, and you'd have either 3 or 4 leaves. So when we say up to 3 or 4 leaves, this is what we mean. This is the classic oolong picking. We are at the top of the mountainous area of Shiping. We had to come visit the top plantation. We're above 2,000 meters high now, and they're harvesting in this most bijou little plantation that I think I've ever seen. It must be producing some very, very top quality tea. Maybe we'll get to try some. And you can see this row here has been picked already, and this here is ready to pick, and they're slowly moving their way towards me, so I'm not going to disturb them too much. So this is a leaf which is ready for picking, and the pick, as I said previously, would be 3 or 4 leaves, something like this is the pick. It's perfect. Let me move in a bit closer. Can you see how the bud has disappeared here? Bud has disappeared. So it's perfect. Maybe this leaf is a little bit young, but it's still pretty good. Should we see what they've got in their sack? I'm going to see if I can grab one here. See if I can just grab a little look at what they've got. There you go. Take a look here. Exactly what you'd expect. No bud. 3 leaves here. Sometimes they'll do 4 leaves. They're picking partly by hand and partly, I don't know if you can get in there, Celine, using this little scythe here, which is the first time I've ever seen this scythe. In Taiwan, they have little razor blades that they strap onto their fingers so they can cut very easily. Look how quickly they're going. And it may look like it's not that accurate, but you can see just by picking out of what they've got in their sack of goodies there, that they are picking exactly the right things, because these bushes are ready. These are perfect. The buds have all gone. They've all disappeared. You can't see any buds left here. Can you see? No buds left. They've all gone. So it's all about picking the right time to harvest. I'll put this back. Don't want to take their precious produce, and take a look around. This is a very, very small plantation. It's owned by a gentleman in Xiamen, and he's rented, well, it's not owned by him, he's renting it from the government. The government owns all of the land here. Oh, even mobile phones are ringing at the top of a mountain in Anxi County. That's how technology has arrived. Yep, the old tea pickers, gotta pick up your phone calls. Oh, she was very kind and switched it off for us. So here you go. Top quality tea being picked by hand. This is going to be produced, this is the Guan Yin variety, and this is going to be produced into Zhengwei high quality Tieguanyin. This is like the tea window, you see? This is like, you know, you go to a cafeteria and you get really bad tea given to you. This is the absolute opposite, because we're at 2,000 meters. Incredible Tieguanyin is, if you look down here, Celine, incredible Tieguanyin is freshly picked, and it's going through its withering phase here. And the tea master here is just gonna knock up some incredibly expensive, no doubt, tea for us through this window. Oh, that is crazy. So it's got the charcoal roast, but it's very, very light, and really what you're getting is sweet plum. Oh, 很好香，很好。This is the best Tieguanyin I've ever tasted. Oh my gosh. It's got everything. It's got the milk. It's got that milkiness. It's got a very light roast, actually. It's more the it's more the oxidation. It's got more of a heavier oxidation, which gives it that sweeter, sweeter tone to it. And it's like a slightly fermented plum. Like, yeah, you know, the slightly salted and cooked plum.
Yeah, that's what he told us.
And the color's getting more vibrant. Okay, I'm gonna switch the camera around. You need to try this tea. Come on.
That is like intensely sweet, creamy, floral. It's got so much complexity. It's delicious. It's delicious. Can we get some?
Okay, so we've just been told that the master who makes this tea makes it in the very ancient Anxi style. He's not revealing anything more than that in terms of what that actually means. There is definitely something in this tea. It just tastes fuller. So when he sells this tea, he sells it with the stalk?
Yeah.
See, that's bold, right? That's bold right there. It's like, no, I'm not gonna strip the stalk off. You're gonna drink the stalk and you're gonna like it. We need to get this tea. We've returned to the roaster in Anxi City to collect our tea and to taste it. So this is the Huangdan tea that we delivered yesterday. She kindly, knowing that we were leaving very shortly, we're leaving Anxi County tomorrow, she kindly made it priority and she roasted it, and she gave it a relatively light roast, 9 hours, which was what we agreed, to keep it quite fragrant, quite light, but give it that roundness and that richness. So here is the tea, and we're going to try it for the first time. I'm a little bit excited, a little bit nervous to see how this turned out. It smells great. It smells really, really good. So let's taste. Oh my God, it is so good. She has kept the fragrance, the lightness. It's still got this butteriness and floral notes, but now it's smoother. It's so much smoother than it was before. It had a shortness, it had a finish that was a bit disappointingly short, and the roast just extends that, thickens the body and gives it a bit more length, and it's smoother and it's rounder, and I can feel it on the sides of my tongue more. The color is really nice as well. I'm so happy with that. I am so happy with that.
这个过几
好香，
好香哦，
啊，好香。
口感过几天还会更好一点。这个如果过几天更好，更香，更滑，更。It's got the yolkiness. It's got that floral note, but it's just round. It's just more round. Like
It is.
the sweetness is there. Taste finish.
Somebody's next to me, so I need to show her the camera.
She's so cute.
Because she wants to see herself. Here you go.
Say hello.
Say hello. 你好。
跟他照一下。
说你好。
这个美女姐姐照。
说你好。Shy. Camera shy. Welcome to the Tieguanyin classroom. As always, I am blown away by the hospitality and the good fortune that I receive when I come to China to explore tea. And this trip has even surpassed all other trips. We are currently in the Tieguanyin Museum in Anxi City. We've been exploring Anxi County for the past 3 days, drinking lots of Tieguanyin, tasting, learning, and trying to find the good stuff. And we have found quite a lot. Today, we've come here to the museum, and we have been so privileged because the owner of the museum is a direct descendant of Wei Yin. The owner of the museum is somebody that we met up in the mountains. You've seen the video already, and his family owns this place, and they've invited us here, and they found out we had nowhere to sleep tonight, so they've let us sleep in the museum. So it's after hours, the museum's shut, we've got the whole museum to ourselves, and we've just had a lovely meal in the canteen of the museum. But I wanted to say thank you to them, so I want to introduce you. So here they are, drinking tea after hours, and I want to introduce you to them and say thank you to everybody. First of all, let's start here. This young lady, looking at her phone, Xiaozhong, she has been the most incredible host, showing us around, bringing us to all the places. She is a Tieguanyin expert. She has been purchasing Tieguanyin for many years. This is the youngest son of Mr. Wei, so this is Xiao Wei. He is the future tea master. So get ready. in the future, you're going to hear this guy's name. He's going to be the future tea master of Tie Guan Yin. I know that for sure. And here we have very honored Lady Wei is here. This is the wife of Wei Yuede, and she has kindly opened her doors to us and shared her tea, and she's now sharing her museum with us. Over here, we've got James. James, we call him James Bond, obviously. He has been bringing us around. He's a font of knowledge. He is, again, a direct descendant of the Wei Yin family, so direct descendant, and he's part of the Tie Guan Yin heritage and empire, but he's also been our driver. So while we've been snoozing in the back seat, he's been driving us around. So thank you very much, James. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
And this is a learned scholar of Tie Guan Yin, Chen Fa, a very, very learned. He's been teaching us a lot, really giving us the full knowledge that I can then pass on to you. We're drinking, what are we drinking?
We drink the traditional.
So a Chuan Tong Tie Guan Yin.
Tie Guan Yin.
So
yeah.
the classic, obviously. These guys are authentic, so they're going to drink Chuan Tong Tie Guan Yin. So thank you to everybody. Oh, no. My mother-in-law, I would get into a lot of trouble if I forgot her. My mother-in-law, Mew, she has been helping, doing a lot of interpreting, translating, and just bringing life and laughter to the whole party. And without her, this trip would not be possible. So thank you. So I want to give gratitude to everyone. We're going to keep drinking tea, but I thought that this was absolutely necessary. And take a look around. We're drinking tea in the most incredible location. It's the next morning at the museum, and we are privileged behind the scenes. This gentleman here is the master tea taster. He needs to grade and classify all the Tie Guan Yin coming through this building. He's just started. It's about 8:30 a.m. He's just starting. This is truly the inner circle of Tie Guan Yin here. This is the original tea tasters, the authentic tea tasters at the Tie Guan Yin Museum that is tasting all the tea coming in through the fields. And you know, we are definitely in the innermost of inner circles. I'm hoping that I can try some of their tea. He is the authority on Tie Guan Yin, and he has said that he would like to invite me to taste the best Tie Guan Yin spring harvest this year. So out of thousands of teas coming from all over Anxi, in his opinion, this is the best Tie Guan Yin of 2017. I'm speechless, really. Okay. The note is floral but quite clean. Starts off grassy, moves slightly sour, that Guan Yin, that slight puckering sensation. Very, very clean tasting. And then the milk and the flowers, this rich bouquet of milk and flowers suddenly bursts forth through the nose. So it's very interesting actually, because the tea is extremely fresh and bright and clean and zesty on the mouth, but buttery and floral on the nose. I've never actually experienced such a dichotomy in terms of the nose and the mouth. Really, really fascinating, incredible, incredible tea. I'm not going to ask price on this, guys, by the way, because it's going to be something astronomical. Oh, the nose is like magnolia and custard. It's like magnolia flowers and the richest egg custard that you've ever smelt. Okay. I said I wasn't going to find out the price, but I couldn't help myself. So I've just been told the most valuable tea. This is, if you don't remember, this is the young master in training. So for the finest tea coming out of this area, one jing, which is 500 grams, will set you back something like 180,000 RMB, which works out, to be about, let's say about $18,000, give or take. I don't know, something like that, $19,000 for one jing, which is 500 grams tea. I told you it was pointless me finding out the price, but there you go, in case any of you were wondering. I'm kind of speechless. The whole trip, we've been here in Anxi for 4 days now, and we've been trying to find a Shahn Tieguanyin. And we've got a really high quality Shahn already, we from another supplier that we purchased. But we've been looking for other suppliers, and I've been a little bit frustrated because I haven't been able to find any. And much to everyone's frustration, I've been refusing lots and lots of samples. We've tried dozens and dozens of samples. And as is always the case, the last day, the last hour before we head back to Xiamen, I'm suddenly presented in this inner circle of Tieguanyin buyers with two Qingshangs that just are incredible. And I found out that they are handshaken, so they're not shaken by the bamboo rollers, they're actually shaken by hand, by tea masters. This is really, really top drawer stuff. I found that out after tasting it, by the way, but the taste is incredible. And I'm trying to choose between two, one of which is a little bit more creamy and yolky, and the other one's more kind of fruity and floral. And I've been back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and you know what, I can't decide, and so we're gonna get both. We're gonna get a small quantity of both. I have no idea how we're gonna put them in the luggage, honestly. We're already full, but we'll figure out a way. I cannot leave here without taking some of this tea with us. So this is coming back to London with us, and we're about to head back to Xiamen and then go to Japan for some green tea hunting. But that's the end of this video. I hope that this has enriched your knowledge about this incredible and most famous Chinese oolong, and now you are the connoisseurs. That's it, tea heads. If you made it to the end of this video, then please give the video the thumbs up. Check out our YouTube playlist and let us know if there are any videos that you would like us to make. If you're ever in London, then come visit us in Camden to taste our wares. If you have any questions or comments, then please fire them over. Other than that, Celine is behind the camera, and I'm Don from Mayleaf. Thank you for being a part of the revelation of true tea. Stay away from the tea bags. Keep drinking the sublime stuff and spread the word, because nobody deserves bad tea. Bye.